Imagine biting into a crisp raw onion like it was an apple. Sounds a bit crazy, right? But in what if you could do this every day and transform your health? Hi, I'm Dr. Ace. And today, I decided to make this video because I keep getting questions from patients about the real effects of eating raw onions daily. Are they really a heart-healthy superfood? Can they help with blood sugar or weight loss? And what's the catch? Today, we're diving into 7 shocking effects that raw onions can have on your body. 6 of them are surprisingly good, and 1 isn't so healthy. We're saving that one for last, so stay tuned. I'll share real stories of people just like you that can experience these effects, and I'll give you practical tips after each story so that you can reap the benefits without the downsides.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Dr. A sets the stage, consider this. We already love our onions. In fact, the average American eats about 20 pounds of onions each year. Across the world, it's around 14 pounds per person. Yet, few realize the powerful impact this everyday veggie can have on our bodies. Ancient civilizations prized onions as medicine, and modern science is finally catching up. So grab your metaphorical seatbelts. Dr. Ace is about to reveal how a daily raw onion can affect everything from your heart to your waistline, with one sharp surprise at the end. Let's begin our broadcast of benefits.
Let me start with a story about John, a 55-year-old engineer and a long-time patient of mine. John had been having high blood pressure. Nothing severe, but his systolic number hovered around 140. He wasn't keen on jumping straight into medications. One day, I challenged him to try eating half a raw onion, adding it to his diet for a month. When John came back for follow-up, his systolic number was down by about 5 points. Even a small drop like that can lower the risk of heart attack or stroke. Compounds in onions, like crocets, help relax blood vessels and improve cholesterol profiles by nudging down LDL. I explained to John that over time, these improvements stack up. My actionable advice for him was to incorporate raw onion into one meal each day. Slice it into your sandwich or toss it into a salad. John's story shows that sometimes big benefits comes from simple, crunchy choices.
As Dr. Ace just illustrated with John's experience, even small improvements in blood pressure can have big payoffs. Hypertension affects about 600 million people worldwide and contributes to over 7 million deaths each year. Fortunately, nature's pharmacy is full of allies like the onion. Research indicates that quercetin can lead to blood pressure drops of a few millimeters of mercury in hypertensive patients. A 10 millimeter drop in systolic pressure can slash the risk of cardiovascular events by roughly 20%. In John's case, a daily onion helped chip away at his blood pressure and LDL cholesterol, both crucial for heart health. It's a reminder that sometimes the simplest changes, like adding a raw onion to your diet, can gradually fortify your heart and arteries. Now, what about blood sugar? Let's tune in to the next chapter of this onion saga.
Next, let me tell you about Maria, a 60-year-old retired teacher living with type 2 diabetes. Maria struggled to keep her blood sugar down despite medications. I suggested she added half an onion a day into her meals, diced into salsa, lentil soup, and salads. A few weeks later, her fasting blood glucose was noticeably lower, and her hemoglobin HbA1c had improved. She also found more energetic about the day. Raw onions contain compounds that improve insulin sensitivity, helping the body use insulin more effectively. For those managing blood sugar, my actionable tip is to mix chopped raw onion into a salad or yogurt dip alongside your usual treatment and monitor your levels. Maria's journey shows that even small dietary tweaks can support diabetes management.
Broadcast interrupt. Let's broaden the view. Diabetes is a global epidemic. Around 402 million adults live with it today, and that number could reach 700 million by 2025. We need every tool possible to manage blood sugar effectively. Enter the humble onion, rich in flavonoids and sulfur compounds that enhance insulin sensitivity and lower blood glucose. Think of raw onion as a traffic cop for sugar, directing excess sugar out of your bloodstream and into your cells. While it's not a cure, in one study, a raw onion significantly improved blood sugar readings just hours after consumption. Unlike many supplements, this is real food at work. Now, we've tackled heart and blood sugar. What about the gut? Ace has a story about onions and your microbiome coming up next.
Let's talk gut health with Sam, a 40-year-old client who suffered from bloating and irregular digestion. Sam's diet was filled with fresh veggies and prebiotics. I recommended he ate a quarter and a half of onion daily, mixed into meals. Within a month, he reported more regular bowel movements and less bloating. Onions are packed with inulin, a probiotic fiber that feeds beneficial bacteria like bifidobacteria. And these microbes, as they flourish, they produce short-chain fatty acids that soothe the gut lining and normalize digestion. My practical tip here is to add a few tablespoons of chopped raw onion daily. Try mixing it with rice, quinoa, or tacos. Sam's gut garden flourished and his digestion found a happier rhythm.
Consider this science break. Our gut houses trillions of bacteria that influence our health. Prebiotic fibers like inulin, found abundantly in onions, fuel friendly microbes. Studies confirm that inulin boosts populations of bifidobacteria and lactobacilli, leading to softer, more frequent stools for those with mild constipation. Start small if you're new to prebiotics, as a sudden high intake can cause gas. Dr. Ace's advice to add just a bit of raw onion daily hits the sweet spot, gentle yet effective. This illustrates a larger theme. Common foods often have remarkable benefits. Next up, how onions might strengthen your skeleton.
Meet Evelyn, a 62-year-old grandmother worried about osteoporosis. Postmenopausal, her bone density was slowly decreasing. In addition to her calcium and vitamin D, I suggested she eat a quarter cup of chopped raw onion daily in her salad. Months later, her bone density scans showed stabilization. While exercise played a role, research links frequent onion consumption with greater bone density and about 20% lower hip fracture risk. Consider adding onions to your salads and stir fries. Evelyn's onion habit is now part of her strategy to stay fracture-free.
Normally we hear about milk and calcium for bone health, but here's the twist. Epidemiological data show older women who eat onions frequently have better bone density and significantly fewer hip fractures. Hip fractures can be life-threatening or debilitating for seniors, so a 20% reduction in fracture risk is profound. Onion sulfur compounds may inhibit bone-breaking cells and improve calcium uptake. Antioxidants like quercetin also fight inflammation, which contributes to bone loss. This synergy highlights how simple dietary habits can yield powerful health effects. Now, let's explore onions and metabolism.
Now, for weight and metabolism. Kevin, a 35-year-old IT professional, was 30 pounds overweight and relied on a bunch of things to flavor his meals, like sauces. I suggested he swapped heavy dressings for onion slices on his sandwiches and stir fries. Over 2 months, Kevin lost 8 pounds without a strict diet. Onions add flavor with 0 calories, reducing the needs for high-calorie condiments. They also contain quercetin, which boosts fat oxidation and improves insulin-related markers like triglycerides and C-peptide. In one study, participants taking a quarter-10 rich extract of onion show a decline in body fat percentage and BMI over 12 weeks. My actionable advice is to top your meals with chopped raw onions to enhance taste and support metabolism. Kevin's discovery of onion-flavored eating helped him shed weight and live more enjoyably.
Kevin's case underscores a clever weight management tactic: satisfy taste buds naturally. Bland diets often lead to unhealthy snacking. The raw onion serves as a 0-calorie flavor enhancer, helping you stick to lighter foods. Trials show that adding onion or extracts can yield measurable fat loss and metabolic improvements. Animal and human studies suggest onion compounds may activate brown fat and increase energy expenditure. The psychological effect of flavorful food also promotes adherence to healthy eating. Now, buckle up for our final point: the downside of raw onions for some individuals.
We've hailed raw onions for many benefits, but here's the caution. Sarah loved raw onions but suffered from IBS. She experienced bloating, cramps, and gas despite her onion obsession. Onions are high in fructans, a carbohydrate that ferments in sensitive guts and triggers digestive distress. I advised Sarah to eliminate raw onions temporarily and see the effect. Her symptoms improved dramatically. Some people might tolerate cooked onions better, as cooking reduces fructans. Rare onion allergy cases cause skin itching or lip swelling. But takeaway here is, know your body. If raw onions cause discomfort, try smaller amounts. Cook them first or choose other veggies.
A vintage cautionary note, if you will. IBS affects millions, and high carbohydrate foods like onions can exacerbate symptoms in sensitive individuals. Fructans ferment into gas, stretching the intestines and causing pain. True onion allergies, though rare, can lead to hives or more severe reactions. The negative effect of raw onions is context dependent. Your personal tolerance matters. For most, these pungent bulbs are health allies, but always listen to your body's feedback.
Let's recap. Raw onions daily can support heart health by lowering blood pressure and LDL cholesterol. They help steady blood sugar, boost gut microbiome, and strengthen bones and offer anti-cancer protection and aid in weight management. We've seen the real people benefit from John's blood pressure drop to Kevin's weight loss. The one caveat is for those with sensitive gut allergies who may need to avoid raw onions. Imagine 6 months from now, having made this simple change in your routine and reaping the rewards. Better numbers, smoother digestion, and more vibrant health. If you found this helpful, please subscribe, like, and share your onion experiences in the comments below. Let's grow this community of health explorers together. I thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next video. Bye-bye.